just arrived at the Dolmens of Antequera, the Dolmen, the Vieira Dolmen and Manga Dolmen. We're going to look at the Vieira and the Manga now, after we've got our tickets and been in the reception, had a quick look at the museum in here. But these are huge megalithic mounds, the biggest in Europe in fact. It's really interesting actually. The tomb behind me is called the Vieira tomb, and it was discovered in 1903 and 1905 by the Vieira brothers, not Jim and Bill Vieira of Search for the Lost Giants fame and Giants on Record book. This was actually a much earlier Vieira brothers here in southern Spain. They also discovered the Romeral tomb as well. So the one behind me is the Vieira one, and further in the background is the Manga Dolmen tomb, largest in Europe. So we're going to check out the Vieira one first. So we're inside the Vieira Dolmen here in Antequera. It's a very interesting place. You can see behind me there's like a small niche in the end stone going into a chamber. This we do find in places like Sardinia and other Iberian islands all over the Mediterranean. And it's about 21 meters long, but they say it could be 22 meters long. It's orientated, it faces outwards to the east, but it's just slightly off east. It's 96 degrees rather than 90. And it's got some incredible stonework in here. It's almost polygonal, almost puffy polygonal, but it's just very intriguing that it has these alignments, and it's a beautifully cut and designed mound. It could have other chambers in it. They haven't excavated it fully. They also discovered the Romeral Dolmen as well, which is about 4 kilometers from here. But it's a fascinating site. There's not much to see. It's just one avenue going in to the back with a small chamber at the back. And these incredible megalithic blocks here. Some of these stones must weigh in excess of 50 tons. When we go and see the Manga Dolmen, some of the stones are even bigger. They go up to 180 tons, the biggest, some of the biggest in Europe. Not quite as big as Brittany, but possibly the same builders. Looks like we found the guardian of the Vieira chamber. Doesn't surprise me. Everywhere I go, I seem to find cats relating to megaliths. Maybe there's a new book. Okay, so we've just come out of the Vieira chamber. Now we're going to check out the main Manga chamber. This is what really intrigues me. Funny name, but also this has got some of the largest megaliths in Europe actually within its construction. So obviously for any megalithomaniac, this is one we really need to come and look at. So we're just approaching the Manga chamber now, and you can just see immediately huge capstones. I mean, look at the size of that. This is just on the outside of it. Let's get in and take a closer look. Get blown away by this incredible mighty megalithic temple. Well, this is incredible. Look at the size of this place. There's literally no one in here on the middle of the summer in Spain. And just look, you've got these huge posts here holding up the huge lintels. I mean, one of these lintels, I'm not sure which one it is, said to weigh 180 tons. And you've got these blocks going down the side. Each of these must weigh in excess of 100 tons each. What an incredible place.
Ah oui, c'est quoi le nom?
So I'm just standing at the entrance to the main Manga Dolmen here near Antequera. Just above me here you can just see the size of this huge capstone. This could be the one that weighs 180 tons. I'm not sure because you can't see the tops of the other ones, but the thickness of it is incredible. It must be like several feet thick, 6, 5, maybe 4 or 5 feet thick. feet thick rather, and it just shows you that they had a very high level of megalithic technology here in Spain, going back to at least 5,000 or 6,000 years ago, according to official documents. They actually found about 100 skeletons in here. Where they are now is unknown. I think some of them might be on display in some of the museums around Spain, but I'd be interested to know if any of them had elongated skulls, any of them were of giant stature, or anything like that, unusual characteristics, anatomic anomalies, etc. Because just the level of technology, the level of sophistication here is very, very amazing when you look at it compared to other sites in the area. Obviously we find very similar constructions in Malta, also in Sardinia, where you get this kind of square niches, and obviously Ireland as well, and England. This is very similar to Newgrange in many ways, and I haven't seen any examples of spiral carvings here yet, but nevertheless there are cut marks here, which I'll show you some examples of now. So behind me you can see what looks like a simulacra, like a rock face, like a mountain facing up into the sky. Some people call it that face of a woman, they call it Lover's Rock or La Penna. The dolmen here, the Manga Dolmen, is aligned to the summer solstice sunrise, and the sun rises right at that rock. And so people question, were these dolmens, were these mounds here at Antequera actually built in accordance to this great navel, this axis mundi of this whole area? It would certainly seem so, that everything was built around it. And even behind me here you can see another hill behind the visitors centre. This was a settlement, and so the great Lover's Rock or La Penna could have been like a sort of godly representation in the landscape, much like we find in different parts of the world.